Now, we have seen plenty of rushing-type nations in these games so far. In these matchups, usually there's a French player, a Mongol player, or something in between on the mid-category, such as Russ. This game, however, looks like it might be different. Not only because potentially due to the fact of it being an island map, but because we have got HRE and Abbasid Dynasty. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the series. Another match on the islands. This time between HRE Abbasid with Iaguz playing on that HRE that we've seen used to lethal effect on these island maps for quick tech up timings. But this time he is up against a Civ that can potentially eco boom as well. GiveUA, of course, no stranger to the channel. And Abbasid Dynasty, the way it can be played in these situations, no stranger to the channel, where we see these multi-TC drops, where we see these quick eco booms, and these quick moves towards getting the golden ages, could make this a very fun mid to late game. But we got to get there first. So let's talk about openers-wise. I'm expecting both of them to invest heavily into the wood. You can already see the dock is actually up for GiveUA. And I think GiveUA is going to have a higher priority on military presence on the water early if he wants to show what Iaguz is going to do. For those that are familiar, Iaguz has already kind of clocked what HRE does on an island map. So HRE is incredibly potent, and in fact, I think HRE can actually counter out France, and we saw proof of this previously. What you do as HRE is you commit fully into grabbing gold while grabbing your food on the water, right? And you grab the gold so quickly with the priest's blessings, with the prelates, that you're actually able to hit this tech timing that sees you reach castle age at like 8 or 9 minutes into the game. So we'll see if Iaguz goes for that again, or if he's forced to actually commit more into military presence early. Keep in mind that when we did see Iaguz do this before, it was against a France player. Now, the reason that that is important is because French players tend to force a lot more pressure early on with their Hulk commitments. And when you're on an island map, for a lot of people, the opinion at the moment is France equal auto GG, unless you play France. However, as we've seen with HRE now, as we've seen with the distance, or the average distance at least between these islands, you can have enough time to respond as HRE and reach your own hulks. But we'll just have to see if Iaguz does that this game. So GiveUA goes to the second dock, and this will put him ahead of Iaguz. Iaguz is still only functioning out 1. GiveUA has decent eco control right now. Plenty of people on wood, up to 11. What's the count? 6. Wow. So Guz still... Okay, this is... I don't know if this is the play right now. Guz still has people on food. So GiveUA is up to 4 fishing ships, right? Guz is up to 4 now. GiveUA is ahead on this front because... I mean, I'm trying to figure out why exactly, actually. I don't think GiveUA only started killing 1 sheep, so this food difference, where is it coming from? Was there a slight misplay by Iaguz? I mean, he's got people going gold now, right? Gold hasn't been committed to just yet. Yeah, that's the difference. There it is. So GiveUA didn't go for gold just yet. Not really caring for that ultra quick tech up timing. But his eco is a little bit better because he's, in my opinion, once he gets the tech up, like his eco is solid now, that he'll be ready military presence-wise in feudal compared to Guz, who's still functioning out of 1 dock. So he might not reach like a sizable critical mass of fishing ships quick enough that he reaches tech-free before ships arrive at his base. We'll have to see how that plays out. That's how I'm predicting this. We'll see it in practice. It is a very tight needle to kind of thread when you're playing against HRE when they do this boom. But I do think Guz can commit to it. I'm pretty certain, in fact. So fishing ships continue to come out. Tech up hasn't begun yet. Yeah, GiveUA is only now building the House of Wisdom, so he's going to be noticeably behind. This is a bit worrisome, by the way, because look at the commitment. This is probably the one faction that it's worth doing this with, by the way. So Iaguz commits 16 workers. I think 10 is good enough, but the reason he commits so many is because the moment that Aachen Shackle is complete, he will be able to garrison the Prelate inside, buffing everyone working these production lines. Which, remember, because his food is on the water right now, that means he's going to be buffing all of his gather rates. And also, check the move straight. So, Iaguz, he's doing it again. So instead of sending his people back on the wood line, he puts them all on food. He wants to now tech up in about 2 more minutes. And that sounds nuts, right? That actually sounds absolutely bonkers, but it is 100% achievable. Just start the clock and you'll see. Meanwhile, GiveUA, look how far away he is. He's still got over a minute to go until he gets his tech up. He's going to have free dock, so he may be able to spam out archer ships quick enough. But this is going to get so scary. Because the timing on a tech up is going to be pretty solid, and the Hulks could easily come out in that timing. By the time you arrive in Iaguz's base, he probably has a Hulk to defend him against maybe 3 arrow ships. And that's scary. That is very scary. That's what, in my opinion, is making HRE the France killers in a lot of these generations. I think unless you get the most unfavorable generation where you're basically next to each other's island and there's no distance, like more or less the equivalent of I start here and my opponent starts here, then I do think HRE is the solution. If it's that short of a distance, France is the solution. They'll win. But outside that, HRE has the better method. And you can actually see, because he's getting food and gold, he even stops off the extended lines, because with this many fishing ships, it's going to pay off. I feel like Gus has been practicing this exact opening. And this exact opening is very strong, as we're going to see. Look at his food. So now he just needs to get a bit more gold, and he's going to be able to hit about 7.5 minute timings on a Regnitz Cathedral. And he'll already be able to then instantly pick up one of these relics. The bad luck for him, however, is the rest of these relics over here. This is similar to the game against Doubt, by the way. He had the same issue where the relics were on his opponent's side of the map, and barely any of them were on his side of the map. So GiveUA just arrived in Feudal, guys. Do you know what would be really demoralizing right now as a player who just arrived in Feudal on a nation that can eco-boom? If your opponent, in about a minute's time, hits Castle Age. It's going to be a pre-8-minute Castle Age. This is insane. Some people are going to argue this gets nerfed. I think this is a situational to islands maps situation. I think that's enough use of the word situation. I don't think you can do this on land maps at all. I think it's too greedy and can actually be punished. But this also is reflective upon your opponents. GiveUA has picked an eco-boomy type nation, in my opinion. I don't feel like... I honestly don't often see Abbasid Dynasty play for a super early timing. There's situations where you do it, but often you're looking to be a bit more greedy, right? In fact, if we just look here, notice he took the eco wing, and notice he's going to the culture wing. So 100% that's what he's doing, right? He's just being greedy as all hell. So this is utilized, this is utilizing the fact that a lot of people on islands themselves, especially if they have the ability to eco-boom, will eco-boom and will be greedy. And that is where HRE becomes an exploitative faction. When you allow it to for your own actions. Meanwhile, first Dow ship's coming out. And he's going to be behind. Look at the spread. He doesn't know where his opponent is, and this is really awkward. Because he didn't invest a fishing ship in scouting out his opponent's location, he will scout this island, but he won't be quick enough to do any damage to the defenses. And look at this. Time is going to be there just past the 8-minute mark with 6 workers in the end. So 8 minutes and 16 seconds for a tech-free, age-free on HRE. These are the times you can achieve. And what's he going to do straight away? Hulk. Instantly into Hulk. Now, you as GiveUA, look how quickly he is gathering. He's ready to tech up as well. But now, he's in a situation where he needs to wait to hit the Castle Age, which he does. And now he, himself, will go into his version of Hulks, which is going to be the Baglers. By the way, can we just comment on how insanely quick that was? We looked away for a moment and look at GiveUA's current resources. It looked like he hadn't even begun a tech up yet. So this is why I was excited for this matchup. This matchup is so cool because of this exact factor, that both sides have huge eco-boom potential. The problem that Iaguz has right now is it's so slow to get his Hulks out that he's losing fishing ships. So he's actually losing food eco right now, and GiveUA is going to boom off of this. Even if he loses the archer ships now, he's got huge value out of sniping out with these fishing ships here. Fishing ships, which, by the way, a few of them could have been saved by putting them inside the dock, which he didn't do. So yeah, damage done to the archers, but they paid for themselves. I mean, they sunk, what, 4, 5, kept the fishing ships off as well. And GiveUA, if I'm GiveUA right now, I'm probably thinking Imp Age. It sounds insane because we talked about how strong HRE is, but when you get an open like this as Abbasid Dynasty, and when you see that your opponent hasn't protected himself because he fully invested into that Castle Age, and you still manage the timing, you have to feel like you take control of this game. And with the booms! Demo ship straight in, he can actually finish this off. The second Hulk comes out. New explosive Dow going in. He booms it again. He gets them both. The whole fleet is gone. Guz is off the water. GiveUA has boxed him in now. Now, of course, he can build more Hulks, and look at the heavy investment in the docks now. But here's the difference now. If I am the player on the Abbasid Dynasty side, if I'm GiveUA in the situation, I can now just tech up to Impage. And he won't be able to match me at all. Because his food income has been completely burned, right? And here's the other thing. Guz isn't changing it up. He isn't switching people over to food on land right now. He's committed to into the wood. He's committed into the gold. Yes, he's going to get Hulks out, but he's not going to have any solution to getting into Impage. This is so incredibly well played by GiveUA. I love the way he done this. And this is the value of getting just maybe a few arrow ships in this early stage, right? Which is something that Guz could have stopped off for instead of going full greed into tech 3. But this was his all in play, and it's been countered. So now Guz, he's the one who has to react to what GiveUA is doing. And it's going to make him very uncomfortable. So no tech up to Impage. Heavy investment into more ships by the looks of it. What else did he grab? So there's no new TC. More explosive DAOs coming out. So he's already anticipating the Hulk spam, and he's already looking to immediately counter it before it builds up. And remember, one Hulk can't deal with an explosive DAO quick enough, which he's going to find out. It's in range. Boom ship. Oh my god, that was so close to being worse. If Guz actually waited any longer to snipe that, or if they spawned any sooner, he would have had heavy damage onto 2 more Hulks. That being said, these archer ships, by the way, have gotten huge value on this Villi line. This Villi line is now exposed after cutting too many trees, and the archer ships are just about done. But he's forced such a heavy investment out of Guz, he's interrupted so much of his eco, that this is a very rough game for Guz to now come back into. The eco is solid right now for GiveUA. He can afford to burn ships like this and not care. Just look at it right now. Guz is at minus food. That's where it's put him on the income right now. He has 0 food income. He still has not addressed this. Wow. I really thought he'd switch summon to food. But then again, like, how do you sacrifice at this point? How do you sacrifice your income on wood and gold? If you don't re-establish control of the water right now, like, the game is basically over. Because your eco line start to get exposed. Your docks will just be sniped out. So that's why he's not putting anyone on food at all. He can't tech up. He's restricted. Meanwhile, GiveUA, if he wants at any point, he can start teching up. The only reason he's not right now is he's stopping off all these extra researchers. So he's happy to just stalemate in the Castle Age because he's getting research benefits, while Iaguz is simply trying to amass a large enough force to keep GiveUA out of his base. And this is what we talked about with GiveUA, right? This is why a lot of players actually like dread going up against him in the rank in the ladder right now. I think GiveUA, out of all the players we've seen, is maybe like not on top of the game, like Viper maybe in terms of the way he harasses your lines, right? Micros, whatever. I think the GiveUA magic is genuinely in how he reads what his opponent is going to do ahead of time and counters it before it occurs. And then he counters it in a way that is unexpected. That is, to me, the magic of GiveUA. And he's done it again in this game. Like, honestly, if he didn't... So he saw the tech time, right? When you saw tech time that quick, you think, like, someone's maybe up. And when you then see no ships showing up to scout, that was when GiveUA flagged that he needed to invest in early arrow ships. And that type of move being made is the difference between a winning top-tier player and someone who is stagnating or floating around the 200 on the leaderboard, right? And now, look at this. GiveUA, because he has so much influence in the game right now, and because Iaguz, even though he has a naval force, is on the defensive because of his eco situation, he's going to be the one expanding to a second island. And it's going to go completely unnoticed because Iaguz is on patrol. If Iaguz was going to come directly to attack him, he would have seen him by now. Instead, Guz is just trying to recover his game because although his gold and wood are decent, remember, his food got put right in the ground. Well, not even the ground. They got put to the bottom of the ocean. They got sunk, which is why he's now rebuilding the fishing fleet. Now, he does have his own demo ships, and we look at it count on count. There is a huge clump of demo ships here for GiveUA. Up to 9. This is way too many for the Hulkmaster to get through, by the way. So if he rushes him, GiveUA will snipe out a lot of this fleet that Iaguz is invested in. And Iaguz, now he's scouting over, but it's too late. This TC is too deep. He won't be able to snipe it out, and GiveUA's eco can boom further now. Demo ships going in. Now, will he manually boom? Yeah, he's manually booming him. So this is really efficient coming out from GiveUA right now. Hulks are mostly gone. More demo ships turning around right now. The fishing boats, oh my god, he done this on purpose. He booms even more. The problem is there's a secondary fleet for Guz, so this didn't work out. GiveUA was trying to be big brain here. He brought the fishing ships along so he wouldn't notice the demo ships mixed amongst them. So this is going to be fleet wipe for GiveUA. And Guz, because he had this heads-up play, because he split up his forces and didn't completely clump them, now GiveUA is in a sore situation that he needs to find a recovery point from. Really interesting plays on both sides. The problem that GiveUA now has is his primary base, his dock line, is now exposed as Guz moves in. And also, look, he's holding it hostage. So GiveUA will see these 3 demo ships, and that means he can't actually spawn things out of these docks right now. Like, 1 ship isn't good enough. The one play he's trying to make, you can see it right now, he's wrapping with these explosive dows. He wants to try and get a 3-for-1 trade, and he might find it. Dow, wrapping. Instead, no, Guz! He's going to go for the trade. He doesn't detonate, though. No manual detonation. Chase in, triggers the explosions, and he gets in. Decent damage done, but he needed both of them to hit the line, so he will not get rid of these ships. A new explosive Dow out. There'll be a chase in. This is way too many ships. He needs to amass 3 again. GiveUA once again going for the wide wrap, but he's being chased by the demo ship. So Guz trying to cut him off. Guz, remember, Guz is invested now. He's not teching up. He has no one on food still. His food income sucks. It's poo-poo brain. So he's going nowhere. So he might as well use all of his gold, all his wood right now. By the way, GiveUA stuck another one. He actually snuck 3 islands. So all this damage being done right now is inconsequential if Guz now can't get a landfall to do something about it. Because GiveUA has spread so far wide that he will recover in 5 minutes. Guz, because he has not expanded his food lines, because he has not increased, will not recover and will not be ready for an imp age anywhere near as quickly as GiveUA. The only problem I do see, though, is once GiveUA does reach that eco boom off this trip TC, he needs a way back on the water. The good news he has is I don't know how much of this has been spotted. And a second TC! GiveUA! This is so greedy, but so effective in this situation. Because remember, this island expansion did not get scouted by Guz, which means he's free to now boom on this island. He can then set up a line of docks. He'll have ample wood to support the fleet, and then he can wrap on the back and trap Guz in his side of the map. These fishing boats will be found in a sec. For a moment, I thought this is big brain explosive dows, but it's just measly fishing ships. So final active dock gone, but look at this, look at this. It's not even about this line. It's the closer move. Instead of going to force a fight directly with the main army of Guz, GiveUA is now going to try and snipe out any reinforcements and also boom his economy on the water again. This is such a heads-up play from GiveUA, once again displaying why he is such a frustrating player for people to play up against. And the explosive dows will amass. Transport ship spotted. I think he's going to hold it hostage, though. No, he does boom. Okay, he booms it. Yeah, and he gets the kill because it's a mass impact. So transport gone. Fishing boats are going to back up, but where can they back up to? There's nowhere really that safe. And oh no, the explosive now! The demo ship's here, but he's not boomed it yet. GiveUA's not looking. He misses the opportunity to get rid of the eco fleet as well as one of the dows. Or one of the demo ships, rather. But he's trying to choke out reinforcements now, so he wants to target out these docks and target out the new fleet incoming. Meanwhile, Guz, he's not moving his fleet at all. He doesn't want to fall for this bait and switch, because if he moves away, there's always a chance GiveUA rebuilds his army here. Instead, he's going to try and snipe out what he can, but GiveUA didn't expand along the shoreline. He expanded deeper and further back, so he's safe. And in fact, there isn't really that much on land if you think about it. Most of it's just been docks. Speaking of docks, he did get some more out, and they're trading well. So they're going to snipe out 1 or 2 of these hulks. And plenty more boom ships where that came from. The explosive dows is the full commitment for GiveUA. Remember, Guz is down to negative income per minute on food again. And look at this right now. GiveUA, if he gets the gold, which he has a gold vein on this island, and he still has plenty on his main island, then he'll be able to go for the imp age. And at that stage, if you do take an advantage of the fleet fight, you can invest in carracks and siege down the rest of what Guz has. That being said, the name of the game right now is 100% demo ships. Fleet has repositioned across the dock line. And GiveUA, I mean, yeah, you might lose this dock line, but Guz isn't really expanding further than this. He's always reacting. He doesn't have a heads-up solid play because he doesn't have a land army to invest into taking down these TCs. He's able to snipe this one, but remember, this TC expansion, this trip TC, one of them is exposed, but two of them are always going to be safe. Meanwhile, he'll start building up a new dock line over here. This is just a game of catch me if you can right now. And Guz, every time he thinks he caught him, it's just playing out like the movie, right? Leonardo DiCaprio is always a step ahead. The question is whether this is going to end like the movie did, or if Leo is just going to walk off into the distance, into the sunset, with wads of counterfeit cash. We'll have to find out. Right now, it looks like he's running away with the cash, as he's found the gold vein. So he invests all the workers over there. A decent amount of wood was already gained from this island. He has got some wood still on his primary island, but remember, it's next to the shore, so it's exposed. And he's running out of trees over here, but there's still a decent clump, like, 150 each. How many are we talking about? So he's probably got, like, 3,000 or so wood here. So that'll keep him busy for a while. Well, extra trees. So 4,000, 5,000 wood on this island, something like that, probably. Meanwhile, explosive dows, still getting their value. He can't go in for the main Hulk fleet. That's the only troublesome issue for him. But if he does this quick, he hasn't waypointed, though. I don't think... Has GiveUA waypointed this? He waypointed it away. If he waypointed it towards the Hulks and he gets this out, he'd actually probably be able to severely damage all three of these Hulks. All four, rather. But he wasn't able to complete in time. TC's now going to go down. And there you go. He switches up. So the Dow comes out, gets targeted. Boom, isn't close enough. Nicely done by Guz to reallocate targets. Explosive Dow army. There's enough here to get in, but look, the split. Guz isn't giving high priority targets. He's splitting up the Hulks again. So we'll corner the Dows. Boom them one by one. GiveUA tries to go for the split. Booms two to get one Hulk. Won't get the third in time, so no damage to the other Hulk. Has started rebuilding a fleet over here, though. Look at this. Once again, more of these explosive Dows coming out. GiveUA, this is actually incredibly smart. Like, this is such a heads-up play, because not only is it stopping Guz from getting a definitive victory, but because he has 3 islands compared to the 2, in GiveUA's eyes, he has the eco advantage once this reaches stalemate. What he doesn't realize is Guz has actually got the island with the extra big gold veins. And the other thing to consider is you are up against the Regnitz Cathedral that has 2 relics inside it. So the worrying part for me is while GiveUA has this big brain play at the moment, he's not amassing a fleet that actually really does anything. And the reason that this is problematic, unless he gets a big boom, no, it's not good enough. He'll detonate now, but it's not good enough. So to go back to the point, the reason this isn't going to be good enough is you're up against HRE. Any other opponent, I think the way GiveUA is playing this is correct, even with the gold vein situation, potentially. But up against HRE, I think the Regnitz Cathedral difference of getting an extra 400 gold per minute compared to, what? This Moss generating 200 gold per minute? And then factoring in these 2 gold veins puts HRE at a distinct advantage. And you're going to see Guz, he gets the tech up because he wasn't the one limited. He had a fleet he was rarely ever replacing. It's actually, if you think about the amount of gold, GiveUA, for every Hulk he takes down, which, for reference, I mean, Hulks are going to cost you 240 gold, right? These demo ships, which have been being produced en masse by GiveUA, have been costing him 80 each, right? I think, on average, he's been getting 1 Hulk for at least 3 of these ships. Now, that sounds good. That equals out on gold. It doesn't equal out on wood, though. It's 160 wood compared to the 300. So that's where the price hike has been noticeable and has been denting GiveUA. And that is why, after an amazing 3-island boom, he is now behind in eco. So Dow's out. Probably the most valuable explosive hit we've seen in a while for GiveUA. That was actually a decent trade. So if GiveUA can find more of them, thumbs up. But right now his problem is that where Iaguz is going to win this isn't even as much on the water right now. It's actually on the land. And it's not even a military force. It really is just this eco expansion, which he committed the Elsbach Palace to. Interesting play, by the way. So he went for the defensive choice. If he'd gone for the economical choice, he would have been producing villages on this island at 25% the cost, 75% faster, which would have meant that this eco boom would be unassailable. Right now, he's gold capped. That's why I'm a bit confused about why he went for the palace. I don't think the palace was the right move in the situation because now you are gold capped. Whereas if you had been producing villages at that momentum, gold wouldn't be a limiting factor for you. And there's the tech up. So, GiveUA gets there in the end. He's not going to switch into Carracks, though. He is going to get the explosives research. He has to get the explosive research. He's so in on these incendiary ships that if he doesn't get explosives, then I don't know what the hell the point is, right? Is he rebuilding the dock line? Yeah, he's building a new dock line. But look, Guz is aware of it. This time he's built Carracks, and he can snipe these villies from long range, en masse, as well as siege all these docks quickly. So Guz, he's had enough of these antics. He's read it perfectly. Now GiveUA, the map starts to feel really small, and you are starting to run out of places to hide. Your cheeky plays have been cheap. They've been slapped around the cheeks right now. As Guz has split up his forces, he's now choking out any production before it can get on the waters. And also, look, keeps eyes on the main island. However, wait, oh my god, GiveUA, okay, he found one more spot to sneak. He didn't go back to his primary island, but he did start building more docks on the other side of this expansion island. So he actually might alleviate pressure on his primary island. I always feel like these type of games come down to a rough situation of no one bothered to invest in a small and contingent force to go harass the land eco. Like in this type of game, Guz, with this eco advantage, could have easily built just a bunch of spearmen, really. Rolled them across the map. It's not a heavy investment if you lose it, but if you get it on the island and it even disrupts this gold line for, say, a minute, then GiveUA cannot continue to spam out these ships. But because you've allowed this gold treacle, look at GiveUA. The only thing he's not limited on really right now is gold. He's just swimming in it. He's basically taken these golden ingots, tossed them into a swimming pool, said, actually, that's not a good idea to swim in. I've just broken all the porcelain. But I will lay on top of it and sunbathe in the gold. Which I'm pretty sure when you have 3,000 surplus gold, you do have enough to fill a swimming pool. I'm not sure of the exact conversion numbers, but I think rough estimate puts it there. Carrack. Trying to siege. Not really enough vision, but look how easy it is to just snipe out these explosive dowels before they reach you. He could actually target the TC right now, by the way. I think vision's his limitation. We can see. Yeah, so he can't see right now. If he moves this Hulk in, I think he gets vision because the TC attacks him, but he's not doing that. So, missed opportunity there to get rid of one of the TCs. This TC isn't really that useful anymore. I think he's exposed a lot of the accessible economy, right? Like there's this gold vein left, and then this one's hard to reach because it's near the shore. Same with the stone outcropping. So I'm not sure how many more villages GiveUA would build here anyway. But it is one of his landmarks. Okay, so, Guz. Plenty of wood left here. GiveUA almost spent. And look, this is the other cool thing. Guz commits this keep here. And now he's going to TC expand. So he'll have the wood line. And look, there's barely any wood left for GiveUA. Even if he's allowed to remain on this island for a little bit longer, there isn't much for him to gain. So these docks won't be long for this world. And he's even upgraded the keep, so the cannons start firing out as well. The TC will successfully go down. And this island then just converts to Guz. Wallalol, this whole island. This is now Guz's. And that also makes it much easier for him to play the rest of the map, because now he doesn't have to Benny Hills left to right on this island. He can now just focus a cross-line intersection that GiveUA cannot pass with any ships. And from there, he can begin to push in. And yeah, he says, any explosive you can do, I can do better. And this is the thing. He's investing heavily into Carracks like we saw him do previously. He kind of understood from that game that like over-investing in Carracks is the death of your economy. Whereas if he just gets 2 demo ships, he'll be able to pretty much boom these docks, right? So sends one in, that's gone. Gets another one over here. Now he's going to move around and see this dock, and that'll finish that one before it can get the explosive dowels as well. Meanwhile, Villies have to come out, then they're exposed to a Hulk, and they're being sniped one by one as they try to rebuild the naval presence. And it is one by one instantly, right? Because he went for the upgrade. He went for the frontal-facing ballista. So it's enough to kill off these Villies. Not that it wasn't anyway. I mean, the Hulk can do it itself. And yeah, boom ship out. We'll get rid of this Hulk, but I mean, the eco damage again, that was costly. Once again, a good eco trade, in my opinion. And he's also, oh my god, he's actually just holding this dock ransom now. So if anything big was to get produced out of this demo ship will just explode it. If he comes to repair it, this demo ship will explode it. Guz realizes that this dock is now invalid just from him being placed there. And there's no counter to it. You can't blow it up. You shoot it, it will still kill the dock. You come over to repair the dock so you can shoot it. Detonates and kills your Villies. And once again, over here, sets the dock on fire, sends in another demo ship, and if the Villies come too close, they might die as well, and he backs them off just in time. But now the other dock set on fire is going to fall. Yep, that one's gone. And look at this new dock that he expanded with. Demo ship in. Boom again. He did get rid of this dock on the back foot again. And GiveUA hasn't been committing elsewhere, really. He can't commit here, right? Because there's land forces here. He's being kind of wiped off this island entirely. He's trying to rebuild on his primary island, but this is a predictable play. And it means that you're all-inning on an island that you know is running out of resources quickly, right? Because he's almost done with his second gold vein, and then the only one he can work is one that is exposed right on his coastline. And he calls GG. Yeah, he just calls it. The expansion's cut off. He can't do anything here anymore. Guz has alleviated any pressure coming from this island. Really cute attempt to play the game by GiveUA, but Guz, once again, proving how mighty and powerful HRE can be on these island maps.